again, YouTube. In this episode, we're going to be doing stage 17 of Build Your Own Ecto-1 from eaglemoss. This is issue 6. And all we're going to be doing in this one is that we're going to be assembling the other tire and wheel and attaching it to the chassis. It will involve CM screws and a LM screw, apparently. So, yeah, and we get to put 2 brake lines on. So that's all that's involved in that issue. So I guess we'll get right to it. George, are you farting again? Yeah, never mind. Anyway, we'll get to it. Okay, as you see, we're just going to be assembling the other wheel, tire, and then we're going to be putting on 2 brake lines. And then as far as the kit goes, it will be this one. And yeah, ain't much to it. So we'll get started. Now this tire, it's the same on both sides, but I noticed on one side it's not as pronounced as this side. This looks a little bit more sharper, so I'm going to use this side to go on the outside of for the outside. Okay, they want us to take what do they call this, the outer wheel, and they want us to center it. Alright, so we just stick it on there like that. Just kind of squeeze it in like that, and you flip it over. Just be mindful where the valve stem is. You don't want to break it, so keep your finger kind of away from it. Now on the back side, you want to put in the inner wheel, and you want to line up the holes, or the little studs with the holes. And it doesn't look like there's any particular way it needs to go except for lining up with the screw holes. So you just kind of line it up. It's just basically exactly the same as the other wheel and tire that I did before I started making the videos. Now, since it is metal, it says use 3 CM screws, so I'm going to put I've already put a little 3-in-1 oil on this one. So we'll start off with that. Okay, doesn't seem to be going in. You have to squeeze a little harder. Just a little bit. Okay, you have to squeeze just a little bit harder. Alright, may be having some technical difficulties here, people. Alright, be mindful of the valve stem so we don't break it. Get one side started and then you get the others in. As the rubber's dense and everything, so it's going to be a little hard to squeeze them together because it's pushing out at the same time you're trying to squeeze in. So, get one started. Start on the next one. Squeeze it together and then turn like so. And again, be mindful of the valve stem on the other side to make sure you don't break it. A little squeeze, line the hose up. You can tighten them up the rest of the way. It's pretty much how I had to do it when I did the other wheel and tire before I started making the video. When I started working on this kit, when I first got it, the first three or four stages, I didn't film them. So that's why there's no part one, no stage 1, 2, or 3 in there, because I built them off camera. And then I decided, oh, I want to start doing videos again, and started putting these up on YouTube and going forward from there. Okay, there's that part done. Next step. Okay, on this step, you get to put this on the car. Now, like before, I put a little 3-in-1 on my finger, and I rubbed around the outside, and I put a little bit on the inside, so when it goes on the spindle, it'll lubricate the wheel so it spins a little bit more freely. So, if I can get this on the camera or not, but basically just stick it on there and push it on. And then they want it to be held in place with an LM screw. I already got one on the screwdriver, so I'm going to go ahead and run the screw in, provided I can get it on the screwdriver like I need it to be. For some reason I'm having a hard time seeing what I'm doing. You know what I just did? I have a technical issue. Okay. Yeah, if I want to run the Ecto-1 without hubcaps on it, you know, you can do it that look if you like that kind of look. Okay, so I made a technical issue. I'm supposed to put the hubcap on, so you're probably yelling at the screen, don't forget to put the hubcap on. Yeah, I forgot to do that. I'm kind of forgetting things here lately. Alright, so put the hubcap on first before you put the screw in to hold the wheel on. So again, you know, be mindful of the valve stem, go through the hole in the valve in the hubcap, like so. You just push the hubcap on, make sure you're not damaging or hurting the valve stem. And I'm not. It's right where it needs to be. Okay, now you put the screw in. Okay. Yeah, I kind of jumped ahead a little bit and knew I was kind of forgetting something. You know, I had a blind moment, or what do they say, a brain fart. So, excuse me for that. Sound effect, please. Alright, yeah. Now it's moving freely thanks to the 3-in-1 oil. Screw's tight, but it still allows the wheel to move so I can roll. And make sure that is tight before okay. Okay. There we go. And then they want you to put in the center hub, or should I say the cap that goes in there, which, as I said, I got a mod that I'm going to use that changes the color of the cap. So it changes the, it's got a different color to it, like the actual car. So there's that. So now, next step. Okay, on this one, they want us to take we're putting the brake lines on it. So the longer one, it goes on this side from over here to this distribution block right here, or whatever they call that. Anyway, you just attach it here onto this little distribution block that the hose attaches to for brake line. run it all the way over to here to where it goes onto the back of the wheel right there. And then the shorter one goes, it kind of goes on this part on this side and it attaches to the other wheel. Now, being that the little hoses and stuff are like this, I think I'm going to leave them like that. You know, I ain't going to do like I did with the spark plug wires where I stiffened them up by putting wire in them. So I think I'm going to leave these like this. But if I don't like the way they look, I'm going to change it and put that metal wire in there so I can actually shape it the way I want it. But we're going to try it like this and see if it's, I mean, it's a brake line, so, or brake hose, so it should be okay. So I might just leave it like that. So, alright, so here goes nothing. Alright. Now this might be a little difficult to do for the lighting and everything, but we'll see what we can do. And because of the cramped spaces and stuff, it might be pretty difficult. Okay. That wasn't so bad. Okay, now the other end, I want it to route over the transmission and bring it over here to the wheel, which I'm not sure if I can do it from this angle or I have to do it from the other, from the front. Might actually be easier. So let me turn this around. And this is getting heavier, fellas. Alright. So I'm going to turn the wheel around where I can see, because it's got to go right here in the front. So we're going to bring it around this way. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be stiffening this up. I think it needs to have some movement in it. So, okay. Trying not to make it do that because it messes up the hose a little bit when I do that. I'm trying to keep it from doing that. Oops, didn't stay on there. Okay. Well, then we need to widen it just a little. Just a hair. Now, it should shrink back around it. If it don't, then I can always glue it on there. So it ain't no biggie. Alright. Here's that side. It allows the... Yeah, it shows it in the picture to go over the frame, over the top of it like that, but okay. Now on the next brake line, they want it to, I have to tighten that wheel up a little bit. It's a little bit too loose. Alright, now on this side, so from here to the wheel hub, I have to stretch it out just a little bit by doing that. And I literally cannot see what I'm doing. Okay, I think it's on there. Now we flip this around. Alright, kind of get a little oil on that. Okay. Bring us around. And we're going to stretch this other end out just a hair, so it'll go on the peg. On the wheel hub. May have to tighten that one back up. It is not supposed to be that loose. On the bottom of the wheel, out there, you can see it flexing or moving. The other side don't do that. So, gotta flip the car back up. Alright, I'm gonna do it off camera and I'll be right back. Okay. That was I had to go back in there and I had to loosen that screw back up in there so that it would quit bouncing the suspension. It's not bouncing now, so it's sturdy now. It's still able to turn. That kind of thing, so. Alright. It's looking good. And that kind of finishes that stage. Well, anyway. That finishes stage 17 of Build Your Own Ecto-1, issue 6. And there's still one more stage to go in this booklet. And I'll take a quick glance at it real quick. And it looks like it's going to be kind of short. It's just basically attaching a couple pieces to the frame. So that one might be a short video. So, but so far, yeah, the previous stage, not the one I just did, but I think one of the first two stages I did, it was a little bit difficult. The one where I put the engine in the chassis kind of thing. So, but it's still fun. I mean, I'm not complaining or anything like that. But I did kind of make a little bit of a rant a little bit ago on one of the videos that when they were making this model, the Ecto-1, and they were doing a convention, and they showcased it at the convention. And then they said one of the people that was making the video, or should I say making the model from eaglemoss, they were talking about where they did a 3D scan of the entire car. You know, he said, "Oh, we scanned the inside and out, you know, or outside and then the inside." Well, you know, from what you can see from the outside of the car, inside the engine bay and underneath the car, it's very detailed. And then when you get inside the car, where the back end of the car is, from what I've seen in some other people's videos that are doing the same model, especially like World of Wayne, you know, he's a lot further along than I am. He's actually got the body and everything, pretty almost done on it. And then there's some other people that are doing the same model, and I've noticed that the interior of the car is lacking some detail. They put all this detail under the hood with the engine, and they put all this detail underneath the frame and the suspension and all that stuff like that, but then you get to the inside of the car. I mean, they put all this realism stuff under the hood on the engine, and put all this realism underneath the car with the suspension and the tires and all that stuff, and then putting the lights and everything on the outside when it's finished, and putting all these things in it, right? A lot of details, right? Well, it's like when you get to the inside of the car, like where the back end is, where the cargo bay is, and you got parts that go in the back. What happened to the detail? It's like they stopped doing that part of it. They stopped giving you, some of the parts are not detailed. They almost look like they came out of a toy, like a cheap toy. As much as you're paying for this model, some of the parts need to be, everything should be detailed, not cut corners and then make part of it highly detailed on the outside, but then the inside is like it's lacking some detail. It's like, why cut corners like that? And I don't understand that. They put all the effort to make the engine look almost real. The underside looks real. or real close to real. You know, I mean, you could probably paint it a little bit, you know, add a little detail like that on it and make it a little bit more realism if you want to do it that way. But then you get to the back end of the car, inside the car where the cargo bay is, and it's like some of the stuff is not. It looks like it came out of a cheap toy. You know, that's why people are modding the car. I mean, that's why they're putting mods in the back end of it. And, well, the engine, it just needed a little help with some decals, and that seemed to spice it up a little bit. That gave it a little bit more detail. So it added a little bit more realism to it. But, you know, I mean, the mods that I already showed in some previous videos, if you go back to where I did the mod video about a week ago from, well, it's been, I don't know when I did it. That's a couple weeks back, I guess. By the time you watch this, it'll be a few weeks back. You know, where I did the scale mod video, where I showed some mods that I bought that I'm going to put in the car. People wouldn't have to mod, you know, they wouldn't have to buy these mods and stuff if eaglemoss would have did the detail to make it look more like the real car. If they're going to do this effort, one scale size car, you know, it should have a lot more detail. Oh, and then the other thing, somebody was ranting about the Eleanor uh, model from eaglemoss. Oh, it looks good from the outside. I seen one of the videos where somebody was building it. There was a couple guys that were building it. There's one like World of Wayne's doing it, and then there's somebody else that was doing it that wasn't happy with it. He said, as much as you're paying for this model, you know, for like Eleanor, he got further along and he started getting to the engine bay and everything, and then you start looking at, he showed all the parts he got, and the detail is not there. It's like they cut corners on the detail, but they're selling you the parts at a high premium price. But, you know, the details are not worth that price. You know, they should have put a lot more detail, like on the Ecto-1. You see how the details are on it, on the engine. And then if you see the one I did that I'm doing from Fan Home, the Fast and Furious, all the details I put in that engine, now that's worth the price that you're paying for it. But then if you're doing the Eleanor model, I was going to do it after I got done with the Ecto-1, and then I saw somebody doing a video on it. They were ranting about how the detail isn't there, and they were going to cancel their subscription. And, you know, they're paying a premium for a model that looks like it was one of those cheap kits that you would spend $10 on, because the engine detail wasn't there and a lot of other stuff like that. And it's like, the model looks good on the outside, but it's like they cut right there and decided to cheap out on the inside of the car. And then after I saw that video, you know, seeing what it looked like on the inside, after, you know, you get some of the seats put together and you start working on the motor, it's like, where's the detail at, you know, in that model? So I kind of changed my mind. I was going to do Eleanor after I got done with the Ecto, and after seeing that, I think I will probably avoid that one. Probably the next one after the Ecto-1, I'll probably do the Back to the Future, but I'm dreading to do that because I saw somebody else doing that video or doing that model. It's got a lot of detail in it for, you know, but it also has a lot of mods too. Yeah, that one kind of scares me a little bit because, you know, World of Wayne did that model and he completed it, and he did it. It took him 3 years to build that model, the Back to the Future, and it has so many accessories and things with it. It looks really cool. A lot of details. It has some cool mods in it that actually makes the car pop a little bit, makes it look more realism, like what you see on a real car, on the actual Back to the Future car. And I'm thinking about doing that one after I'm done with the Ecto-1. So if there's I'm thinking either after I do the Ecto-1, I might do either the Back to the Future, or I might do, say, the Starship Enterprise. I was thinking of that because I used to watch the Next Generation Star Trek many, many years ago when it first aired on TV, long time ago. So that's been a while. But I was thinking about one of those two models. You know, the Starship Enterprise kind of intrigues me a little bit. I seen somebody doing that one. I see a lot of light bulbs in it. And then Back to the Future car looks like it's got a lot of details in it too. Looks like something I would like to try the build, but again, it'll have to wait until I get done with the Ecto-1, which is going to be about 2 to 2.5 years. So I've already got a half a year into it now. So 2 more years to go, and the Ecto-1 should be finished, I hope. Unless we get more delays, and it might drag it out a little longer. But tell me, drop a comment down below if you if you like the, kind of give your opinion on what kind of model should I do next. 1/8 scale diecast, from eaglemoss or fan home. If I like what you think, that part, like I said, I might do the Starship Enterprise, or I might do the Back to the Future DeLorean, or it might be another one that I haven't found yet. So, or if you know another company that does this kind of thing, mail order subscription based type thing, the diecast, you let me know in the comments, and I'll check it out, and I'll let you know my opinion on it. so until I do another video, did I already do the thumbs up thing? Say that at the end. I think I did. I don't know. I can't remember. In case I didn't, I think I did. The thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and everything. So, just in case I didn't say it. And I'm not going to do no jump scares unless y'all tell me it. If it scares you, I'll probably stop doing it. But, you let me know if you want me to do it again, I'll do it again. So, anyway, be safe out there. Take care of each other. Yeah. And watch yourself, with COVID going around and stuff. Hope, just stay safe. That kind of thing. I haven't got it yet, so I'm lucky. So, I hope it stays that way. But I do have a sinus infection. Yeah, but I'm treating it with antibiotics, so we're good on that. So, yeah. Till next time. See you later. Bye. George, are you farting again? Yeah. Never mind. I don't know if turtles fart, but anyway. All right. Bye.